So, we turn to number 34, marks of a Pharisee. And a Pharisee fears the opinions of people. Matthew chapter 21, verse 26. He's afraid of what people will say, particularly people in his own group. You see, the Pharisees were not afraid of what the Romans and the Greeks and the Gentiles say, but people in his own group. What will people in my church say about me if I do this? That means they are not free from the opinions of people. I believe that many elder brothers do things and say things because they are concerned about what will people in my church say about me if it is like this. Many people want their children to behave properly, not for the glory of God, but because they are concerned about their own testimony in the church. What will people in the church say about me if my children are like this? And they pick all types of silly rules on their children, make it difficult for their children for their own honor. I remember an incident in my own life about more than 17 years ago, when my eldest son was finished school and he had applied for college, and he got admission into IIT here in India and also to a college in the United States. And I said, well, son, which do you want to go for? He said, well, Dad, I'd like to go to the college in the US because they're giving me a full scholarship. I said, fine. So he was so surprised that I would allow him to go. I said, why are you surprised? He said, what will people in the church say that Zach Poonen sent his son to the United States? I mean, it's a little more common now, but 17 years ago it was a strange thing to do, because even a lot of elder brothers in those days believed it was a sin to go to the Gulf or to the US or something like that. And people have gone there themselves later, but those days they were Pharisees of the Pharisees who thought these things were sin. So I told him, that will only test whether I am free from the opinions of people. That's all. And I'm free, I can assure you that. I couldn't care less what anybody thinks. I'm not going to let my children live according to the rules that Pharisees around me have made. I'm going to let them grow up in liberty. I believed that 17 years ago. I believe it today. Many of us, we lose our children because we're concerned about the opinions of people. I'm not talking about sinful things. It's not a sinful thing to go to the US, even if 25 elders thinks it's a sinful thing, that's their business. You wait till their children get an opportunity to go, they'll send their children. But when it is somebody else's children, they'll make rules. These are the Pharisees of the Pharisees. And I want to say to all of you, please don't let your children suffer because of the stupid Phariseeism of some elders around you who make rules for your children which they will never make for their own. Remember that. Let them judge you. Die to their opinion. I am crucified with Christ is the central verse of Galatians, which is the great book on freedom from the law. And the center of that message on freedom from the law in Galatians is, I am crucified with Christ. I am free not only from Christ, he says in Galatians 6:14, I am crucified to the world. And I want to read that verse to you in this paraphrase. Galatians 6:14 says like this, for my part, I'm going to boast about nothing but the cross of our Master Jesus Christ. I'm not going to boast that my children don't go to the US or that your daughter doesn't wear ornaments. These are not the things. I'm going to boast in the cross of our Master Jesus Christ. Because of that cross, I have been crucified. In relation to the world, I have been set free. Listen to this. I've been set free from the stifling atmosphere of pleasing other people. This pleasing other people is a stifling atmosphere. It's like a room full of bad air. And you want to get out into the open. I'm set free from this stifling atmosphere of pleasing other people, fitting into the little patterns that they dictate for me. Many people sitting here are living for the opinions not of the worldly people, not of people in other denominations, but what will people in your church say? That proves you're a Pharisee. So, Matthew 21:26, it says, they would not answer Jesus because they were afraid of the people. Again in verse 46 it says, when Jesus said something to them, they wanted to arrest him, but they were afraid of the people. They were not afraid of the Romans, not people in other denominations, but their own group. What will people in my own group say? What will my fellow elders say? Listen, ask yourself what God will say. Full stop. And you'll be free. If you add to that, what will God say and what will Brother Zach say? You'll be in bondage. I want to set you free. Some of your other elders may not set you free, but I'd like to set you free. You can be assured of one thing. I will not judge you. Even if all my fellow elders judge you, I give you my word, I will not judge you. You can send your child to the moon if you like. I will not judge you. That's your business. Don't let somebody else run your life. Don't let somebody else mess up your children's future by trying to dictate rules to you. You wait and see will that person's child grows up what he does. All his rules will change. These are the bunch of hypocrites and Pharisee of the Pharisees I've seen in our midst. If you live by their rules, you'll destroy yourself. Because they don't follow those rules when it comes to their own children. They are extremely partial to their own children. It's rare for me to see an elder brother who is completely free from partiality to his own family. I wish we had more of them. Maybe 5% of our elders are free from partiality to their own family. I've seen repeated examples everywhere. So don't listen to them. I thank God I never bothered about any of their opinions right from day one. That's why I've been a free person. I want to encourage you to be free. You dear parents, don't lose your children with all the silly legalistic rules that other people have made. Don't fear the opinions of